was all supposed to be neutral. No one had anything more than the other. It was all, but to get the rights, I've never heard of that in my life. Spielberg doesn't have the rights to draw. In other words, the studio.
Sly said to Vanity Fair that Creed 2 would be his last Rocky movie, saying all things must pass, and told Michael he'd be carrying the mantle going forward.
I know how it is to go on stage when you unexpectedly, you know what I mean, and it's crazy, you know.
Feeling that there's millions of people that have that same frustration that were overlooked.
So the trailer of Creed 3 dropped, but peeps are like, where's Stallone at? Sylvester Stallone, the OG character, is MIA, and everyone's wondering what's the deal. Rumor has it he might be facing some industry hurdles, you know, that blackballing vibe that artists often catch. Now, word on the street is Kanye West stepping up to spill the tea on what's really going down with Stallone. Let's dive in and see what's the scoop. Kanye West is straight up causing a storm, dropping truth bombs about the shady stuff going down in Hollywood. The industry is freaking out as Ye spills its top secret tea, exposing all the darker happenings. Now Hollywood's walking on eggshells, dealing with the aftermath of these revelations every day. The internet's going nuts, craving more deets, and demanding a deep dive into the whole situation.
They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Kanye West is on another level with his rants, and this time, he's diving deep into the wild online theories about Hollywood sacrifices. In a bizarre clip that's got everyone's eyes glued, he goes all out, even bringing up his own mom, emphasizing how he's all in on this belief. It's the kind of jaw-dropping moment that makes you do a double take and wonder what's really going on in Ye's mind. Hollywood sacrifices? Now that's some next-level conspiracy talk.
My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm Christian too.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right?
Kanye's not holding back, standing firm on his ideas and dropping truth bombs. Before spilling these thoughts, he made it crystal clear that he's ready to call out any wrongdoers or elites in Hollywood. Ye's got everyone's attention, sparking both curiosity and concern as he questions the inner workings of Hollywood and its alleged practices. In a nutshell, Kanye's convinced that Hollywood's pulling strings on certain folks, and these people are legit scared that their loved ones might become sacrifices for the industry. He's even bringing up heavy stuff like his own mom's passing in 2007, throwing out the idea that she might have been sacrificed.
Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing.
Kanye's laying it all out, claiming that Hollywood's motives boil down to one thing: control. According to him, the industry's elites aren't just pulling strings. They're also messing with people's heads, putting them through some serious mental torture. It's like he's saying Hollywood's got this power play going on, and it's not just about fame and fortune. It's about playing mind games on a whole other level.
In order to control, traumatize, they want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me.
He's also dropping bombshells by pointing fingers at some of the heavyweights in the industry, alleging they're under the influence of satanic powers. Shockingly, he's even putting names out there, and one of them is Minister Louis Farrakhan. The plot thickens when Farrakhan comes to Kanye's defense in a video posted on a website. But instead of easing the situation, Kanye doubles down, dragging Farrakhan's name into the mix.
Just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody, so let's get on the phone and let's talk that out.
Now, Kanye suggests that if the industry can manipulate prominent figures, wouldn't it be effortless for them to exert control over Sylvester as well? Back in 1976, Rocky Balboa stepped onto the big screen, and boom, an underdog legend was born. Fast forward almost 5 decades, and now the franchise isn't the underdog. It's a full-fledged champion with numerous sequels. The latest, Creed 3, hits theaters on March 3rd. This 9th installment in the Rocky series and the 3rd in the Creed series follows Adonis Donnie Creed, Apollo Creed's son. He's dealing with some heavy stuff from his past when an old friend turned foe resurfaces after 18 years.
I spent the last 7 years of my life living.
Creed 3 brings a series of firsts for the franchise. Michael B. Jordan, who's been the face of Adonis since his breakout role in 2015's Creed, will make his directorial debut. As for Sylvester Stallone, the iconic figure synonymous with the Rocky films, this marks the first Rocky installment where he won't be seen on screen, even though he played a role as a producer in the project.
Sly, let it be known, that he wasn't coming.
Creed III, the ninth installment in the Rocky franchise and the third in the Creed series, continues the rich legacy of the Rocky Balboa universe. The film delves into the challenges of overcoming past traumas, navigating the pitfalls of fame, and the enduring significance of family. At its core is Adonis Creed, once the overlooked illegitimate son of boxing legend Apollo Creed, who later becomes a close friend and trainer to Rocky Balboa. Adonis strives to keep his father's legacy alive, initially as a boxing champion and later as the owner of a gym, guided by Tony Little Duke Evers, the son of Tony Duke Evers, who trained both Apollo and Creed. In Creed III, the narrative takes a twist as Adonis, after retiring, decides to re-enter the ring to defend his world champion title. This decision is triggered by the reappearance of Damien, Jonathan Majors, an old friend turned rival, bringing a dark past into Adonis's life.
You don't remember me, huh?
Being the lead in the initial two Creed films, it seems like a natural evolution for Michael B. Jordan to step into the director's role for Creed III. In the first Creed movie, Jordan was under the direction of his longtime collaborator, Ryan Coogler. Their partnership began with the 2013 film Fruitvale Station and continued with 2018's Black Panther. Coogler, who is a producer on Creed III and also executive produced Creed II, played a significant role in inspiring Jordan to venture into directing. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Jordan mentioned that observing Coogler directly on the set of Fruitvale Station, a pivotal film for both of them, influenced his decision to take on the directorial role in Creed III. The directing interest sparks back to Fruitvale Station when I first kind of saw a guy, up close and personal, that looked like me, directing, commanding the set, he said, noting that Coogler made himself available for 911 phone calls during the filming of Creed III, despite being busy on a set of his own with the production of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. For his directorial debut, Jordan was attuned to details, but especially the importance of integrating American Sign Language into the film, as his character Adonis's wife, Bianca, played by Tessa Thompson, has progressive hearing loss, and their daughter, Amara, played by Mila Davis Kent, is hard of hearing. All of Jordan's scenes with Amara are in ASL with subtitles. In an interview with IndieWire, Jordan described the film as quadrilingual. We have English, we have Spanish, we have ASL, and then we have the fighting language we explore in the final fight, he said, noting that it was important to him that viewers see a world that embraced deaf characters. I had the ability to really just drop them in this world and see how the ASL family is living and let the audience go for a ride. Absolutely, it's hard not to notice the diminishing presence of Sylvester Stallone in each new Creed installment. With the upcoming release of Creed III, there's a conspicuous absence in Adonis Creed's journey to boxing greatness and the continuation of the Creed legacy. The man who initiated it all, Rocky Balboa, won't be gracing the cast in this latest entry into the Rocky cinematic universe. There's an intriguing story behind why Stallone won't be reprising his iconic character, adding another layer of curiosity to the evolving narrative. Following a prominent role as Adonis's trainer and inspiration in the original film, Sylvester Stallone's screen time saw a slight reduction in the second installment in 2018. However, the third Creed film takes it a step further by completely omitting Rocky Balboa. It does feel a bit off not having the iconic character in a film set in the Rocky universe. The question arises, why won't the Southpaw from Philly make an appearance in Creed III? The answer to this intriguing omission adds an extra layer of curiosity to the upcoming installment. The absence of Sylvester Stallone in the ninth installment of the franchise has been known for a while, but the reasons behind it are somewhat murky and multifaceted. Stallone mentioned in an article for Men's Health that he won't be part of future Rocky films as long as Irwin Winkler, a one-time friend and producer of the first film, is involved in the projects. Stallone, the hometown hero who rose from rags to riches as the pride of the city of brotherly love, has been explicit in his stance, stating, "You can't make peace with someone who's been so nefarious, in my opinion." The exact details of the dispute between the two, however, remain unclear. The roots of the discord trace back to 1976 when Stallone, facing financial hardship, sold the rights to Rocky to Winkler for a sum that now seems trivial compared to the immense revenue generated by the 9 Rocky films at the box office and through licensing rights. Despite Rocky becoming the most successful sports franchise in the history of film, Stallone doesn't receive a share in the broader financial financial success beyond his payment for appearing in the movies inspired by his own creation. Stallone, who wrote the screenplay for Rocky and essentially launched the lucrative franchise, feels that Winkler is reaping the benefits all the way to the bank. In this case, it seems Stallone might have a valid point.
Do you kind of like make peace at a certain point?
No,
or
you can't make peace. I mean, let's be realistic here. You can't make peace when someone has been so...
Sylvester Stallone's new documentary Sly has hit Netflix, offering a glimpse into the actor's inspiring underdog journey that propelled him to become one of the most successful and celebrated stars of the 1980s. However, it also sheds light on the personal toll of Stallone's ambition, particularly the injuries he sustained from performing his own stunt work.
What is healthier? To live under the illusion and still have a little glimmer of hope that you could have been great?
The documentary recounts a harrowing incident during the filming of the fourth installment of the Rocky franchise in 1985. Stallone faced a near-death experience after taking a powerful punch from his co-star, Dolph Lundgren, in the intense boxing match between his character, Rocky Balboa, and Lundgren's Ivan Drago. In the documentary, Stallone recalls, "Dolph Lundgren, he pulverized me," revealing that the impact led to a 9-day hospitalization. The severity of the situation prompted Stallone to be swiftly transported from the film set in Vancouver, British Columbia, to a hospital in Santa Monica, California, as detailed in an interview he gave to Ain't It Cool News in 2006. Later that night, my heart started to swell, which happens when the heart hits the chest. And then my blood pressure went up to 260, and they thought I was going to be talking to angels, Stallone said in Sly. He continued, "Next thing I know, I'm in intensive care where I'm surrounded by nuns. I thought, okay, that's curtains." In the Hollywood Reporter's 35th anniversary retrospective published in 2020, Stallone revealed an intense behind-the-scenes moment during the filming of the iconic fight scene with Dolph Lundgren in the fourth installment of the Rocky franchise. Stallone reportedly instructed Lundgren to abandon the planned choreography for the day of the big fight. "Just go out there and try to clock me," Stallone conveyed, as per the outlet. For the first minute of the fight, it is going to be a free-for-all. In the documentary Sly, while reflecting on his experiences, the Oscar winner candidly shared insights into the toll his dedication to performing his own stunts has taken on his body. Stallone acknowledged, "I push it. That's why I've had 5 back operations. I knew." Despite the physical challenges and multiple back surgeries, Stallone humorously admitted, "You should know after the first back operation not to do it again," laughing at his own tendency to repeat such strenuous feats. He continued, "Probably end up with another one because I know. I say, I'll never do that again. But I do. I don't know why, but I do." The documentary also delves into Stallone's hospitalization during the filming of another action movie, the 2010 ensemble film The Expendables, providing a glimpse into the personal costs of his commitment to his craft. Sylvester Stallone revealed in Sly that he broke his neck while shooting a fight scene with wrestling star Stone Cold Steve Austin in the 2010 film The Expendables. The injury led to an operation to address a hairline fracture, with a permanent metal plate being inserted in his neck.
Keeps telling me, "Steve, bring it," and I'm like, man, when's this guy gonna stop?
Stallone admitted, "Truthfully, I never fully recovered. It did such a number on my body, I've never been the same. Never." Reflecting on the toll his commitment to intense stunts has taken, he questioned the worthiness of such sacrifices, asking himself, was it really worth it? He delved into the psychological aspect, questioning whether the pursuit of such feats was driven by a need for external approval. Stallone likened it to a child seeking validation, saying, "Are you doing this for people's approval? Really, that's almost like a child needing a pat on their head by their father. That's constant encouragement. But it's true." Sylvester Stallone has not only distanced himself due to financial disagreements, but has also expressed discontent with the creative direction Irwin Winkler intends to take the Rocky franchise. Winkler's decision to grant Dolph Lundgren a deal for a spin-off, where he would reprise his role as Ivan Drago, has stirred Stallone's dissatisfaction. In his criticism of Winkler, Stallone went as far as labeling him a parasite and accused him of picking clean the bones of another wonderful character I created. The choice of words, including likening Winkler to a vulture, underscores the apparent strain in their professional relationship. It's a stark contrast to the collaboration that once brought one of film's most iconic figures to life, signaling a significant rift between the two creators.
So nefarious in my opinion, so horrible, because everyone made out well.
Despite being willing to participate in 8 consecutive films after the original and leading up to Creed 3, it seems a bit peculiar that Stallone has decided to set boundaries at this point. Given his substantial net worth of $400 million as of 2022, it's not as if financial concerns are the driving force. So, what could be the actual issue at hand? Although Stallone insists that the issue isn't about the millions he might have missed out on over the past 47 years, it's challenging to believe that the potential for approaching billionaire status doesn't bother him. Regardless, the actor remains resolute in emphasizing that it goes beyond the financial aspect. He expresses a desire to leave a meaningful legacy for his family, stating, "I wrote it. I thought it would be nice to say, here's the gesture, darling, here. Beautiful children, beautiful wife. When I'm long gone, this is you. This is what I made for you." Certainly, it's difficult to dispute that Stallone, finding himself unable to secure the rights to the franchise for future generations, is a bitter realization. While he already possesses generational wealth that will sustain the Stallone legacy for the next century, it's evident that the frustration stems from not having complete autonomy over the destiny of his creation, Rocky. The involvement of individuals like Irwin Winkler in determining the franchise's future seems to be a source of discontent for Stallone.
But to get the rights, I've never heard of that in my life. Spielberg doesn't have the rights to Jaws. In other words, the studio owns it. How he got that, I don't know, which means I have to beg.
Michael B. Jordan has now addressed the surprising news of Sylvester Stallone not returning for Creed III. Jordan mentioned to IGN, "I think that Sly let it be known that he wasn't coming back for this one. But I think, his essence and his spirit, there's always going to be a little bit of Rocky within Adonis." Jordan emphasized that Creed is its own franchise, expressing the intent to build the story and world around Adonis moving forward. He conveyed deep respect and love for what Stallone has created, but underscored the determination to propel Adonis Creed and his family's narrative.
Always going to be a little bit of Rocky within Adonis. And this is a Creed franchise, and we really want to build this story and this world around him moving forward. So, I think.
Since the release of Creed in 2015, directed by Ryan Coogler, the Rocky spin-off franchise focusing on Apollo Creed's son, Adonis, played by Jordan, has received significant acclaim. Stallone even earned an Oscar nomination for his portrayal of Rocky Balboa as Creed's manager. The dynamic duo reunited for the 2018 sequel, with Stephen Caple Jr. directing. In this installment, Creed, alongside Balboa, faces the son of Ivan Drago, Dolph Lundgren, the antagonist from Rocky IV. However, Stallone's departure signals a shift in the connection between the Creed and Rocky franchises. For enthusiasts of the Balboa universe, accepting Stallone's iconic character's absence might be challenging. Yet, Stallone may have foreshadowed this transition. At the conclusion of Creed II, he jubilantly tells Adonis, "It's your time now." According to Capel, Stallone improvised that line on the spot, stating, "That wasn't even in the script. I didn't know what he was going to say." Creed III is set to have a new director, marking Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut. Jordan expressed optimism about the project, telling IGN, "Hopefully you guys will love what I'm thinking, what we're cooking up. I think it's going to be something special." Scheduled for release in November 2022, Creed III bring back familiar faces, including the boxer's partner and mother, portrayed by Tessa Thompson and Felicia Rashad, respectively. The film's screenplay will be co-written by Keenan Coogler, the brother of Ryan Coogler, who directed the first Creed movie.
Curious what happened with you two?
I didn't tell you.
Reflecting on the past, director Ryan Coogler shared his initial rejection from Stallone when pitching Creed. This rejection, perhaps influenced by Stallone's reluctance to collaborate with Winkler again, was eventually overturned by Coogler's infectious enthusiasm and compelling story. Stallone's portrayal in Creed earned him a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, a remarkable achievement for a sequel, and his first nomination since being recognized as a lead in Rocky. This accolade evidently bolstered his confidence, leading him to pen the sequel in 2018 and even contemplate taking on the directorial reins at one point.
Well, I mean, I was there, and obviously I know how Sly feels about us, man. Me, Mike, and Tessa, and
However, the word is on the street that Sylvester is not also willing to watch the movie. Creed III has achieved the remarkable feat of becoming the top-grossing film in the Rocky franchise. While it is an impressive accomplishment, stopping short of labeling it the most commercially successful movie in the series is prudent, considering certain factors. The inaugural Rocky film, produced on a budget of $960,000, astoundingly grossed $225 million at the box office, even without adjusting for inflation. By the first week of April 2023, merely a month after its theatrical release, Creed III had not only reached but exceeded the impressive milestone of $260 million. This achievement is particularly noteworthy for Michael B. Jordan, marking his directorial feature debut. Notably, Jordan reprised his starring role from Creed in Creed II, sharing the screen with his currently embattled friend Jonathan Majors. In the expansive world of Rocky, Michael B. Jordan joins the ranks of those who have taken on dual roles. Sylvester Stallone, the visionary behind the franchise, initially penned the original script and subsequently portrayed the titular character in 6 films. Stallone further demonstrated his multifaceted talents by directing 4 installments of the series.
Can I do this? Can I do that? Oh yeah, all your sons want to be producers? Sure, that's fine. And the thing is, I don't care about the money.
Following Sylvester Stallone's portrayal in the first 2 Creed movies, Michael B. Jordan assumed the role of Adonis Creed. Stallone's absence in Creed III has been particularly conspicuous. Regrettably, the legendary actor has expressed deep dissatisfaction with the unfolding events, to the extent that he adamantly declared he wouldn't even watch this latest installment. In an alternate reality, it might seem inconceivable for a creator to find themselves on the outside looking in on a franchise they brought to life. However, in our world, particularly in the realm of showbiz, the dynamics differ. Whether in music or movies, the individual wielding the most power often isn't the originator of the work, but the one who, one way or another, possesses the rights. When Sylvester Stallone initially penned the script for Rocky in 1975, his friend and colleague Henry Winkler presented it to ABC executives on his behalf. While the network showed interest in the story, their involvement was contingent on someone else taking on the task of rewriting the script.
I wanted to leave it to my children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wrote it. I thought it would be nice to say, here's a gesture, darling. Here.
Yeah.
Beautiful children, beautiful wife.
During that time and in subsequent negotiations, Stallone remained steadfast in his insistence to not only retain the main lead role, but also to be a part of the project. However, amidst the thrill of realizing his cinematic vision, he overlooked a critical aspect: the relinquishment of all rights to the world and characters he had brought to life. It went beyond simply not wanting to participate in the movie's creation. Stallone's recent revelation that he had no intention of watching Creed III underscored the extent of the strained relationship between him and the influential figures within the Rocky franchise. With his 80th birthday approaching in the not-too-distant future, Stallone candidly discussed his life, career, and regrets with The Hollywood Reporter. This was back in November 2022, a few months before the release of Creed III. Asked about his message to Erwin Winkler on Instagram, he said, "No, getting back rights to Rocky is never going to happen. It was a deal that was done unbeknownst to me by people that I thought were close to me, and they basically gave away whatever rights I would have had." While Stallone harbors no ill feelings towards Michael B. Jordan and others working in the franchise, there is no love lost between him and Winkler, who he referred to in a separate interview as so nefarious. It is in fact his history with Winkler that has driven him to a point of not even wanting to watch any new Rocky or Creed films. Despite featuring Stallone in a supporting role, the first 2 Creed films provided a rich character arc for Rocky. In the initial installment, he grappled with the notion of mentoring Adonis, while simultaneously contending with his own battle against cancer. Adonis, in turn, offered the seasoned boxer a fresh perspective on life. By the time Creed II unfolded, Rocky had overcome his illness, only to face the haunting trauma of his friend Apollo Creed's tragic loss when Ivan Drago re-emerged into his and Adonis's lives alongside his son, Victor. Creed II posed a profound emotional challenge for Rocky as he confronted the looming possibility of losing Adonis in a manner reminiscent of Apollo Creed's demise in Rocky IV.
When I'm long gone, this is you.
Right.
This is what I made for you.
This is part of my legacy
That's all.
that I...
And that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
In a poignant turn of events, Rocky agreed to once again train Michael B. Jordan's character to face Drago's son in their climactic battle. Adonis emerged victorious against Victor in their final confrontation, marking a triumphant moment. As the two fighters faced each other in the aftermath, Rocky extended his hand to knock fists with Adonis, uttering the words, "It's your time." This heartfelt moment served as a symbolic passing of the baton from Rocky to Adonis. It signified the conclusion of Rocky's time as the central protagonist and signaled that it was now Adonis Creed's moment to take the spotlight. The scene also portrayed Rocky's inner peace, recognizing that Adonis was now experienced and capable enough to forge ahead on his own. Creed 3 confirmed that Rocky is alive and spending time with his son in Vancouver. While the absence of Sylvester Stallone in Creed 3 has been explained, there remains uncertainty about his appearance in Creed 4. One person on the internet wrote, "Stallone created everything this franchise is. His blood, sweat, and tears are in the DNA of every film. It's disgusting that Winkler and company don't even involve him and think they have a right to this franchise. He should be the #1 producer on every movie, and he should have a piece of the pie." A Know Her One added, "I thought Rocky stole the show in Creed and the Dragos stole the show in Creed 2, so I'm curious to see the new movie, and if Adonis can impress me in a way he hasn't yet in the franchise. I tend to trust Stallone's instincts, so him having nothing to do with this makes me a little worried." Stallone, however, has clarified that he is not interested in participating in Creed 4. Despite the significant shift in status quo with Rocky's absence, the Creed series, with its universal themes of overcoming adversity and seeking identity, can flourish independently without him as a central figure. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.